Hi, we're two dudes, 5 feet. I'm Dakota.
And I'm Jacob.
And once again, we're joined by our lovely guest,
Michaela.
Hey guys.
And today, I'm sure you guys can see what we're looking at. Everyone's favorite Western anime, Avatar The Last Airbender.
Oh yeah, ATLA. Oh, so good.
Today we're ranking the characters. A majority of the characters, not every side character. I think each of these characters have some small pivotal point, regardless, to the story and how things go.
They impact it, they change it in some way, or they are notable enough that they deserve to be on this list.
Yes.
You know, Cabbage Man.
Cabbage Man. Objectively the best character.
Objectively the funniest, that's for sure.
Really.
Sorry, Sokka.
Sorry, Sokka.
Yeah, we're just going to kind of discuss kind of each character, what our thoughts are on the characters and how they move the story.
Obviously, we're going off more off of impact instead of just if we like them all that much. Because the writing in this show is phenomenal.
Yes. And if you
even
haven't
the
seen
bad
it,
guys deserve their
good,
own merits.
yeah. If you haven't seen it, go watch it.
Don't stop watching us. Go watch it, then come back.
Exactly.
There's
And that
obviously
way
gonna be
you can
spoilers.
disagree with us.
Exactly.
Yes, there's spoiler alert is right now.
Yeah. If you haven't seen it, which, you'd have to be living under a rock, or younger, which, that's okay if you haven't seen it.
Yeah. It's life changing. It's fantastic.
It's really good.
I don't know, if you're really young, you probably shouldn't be watching this.
No, if you are really young, you should watch this. 100%.
If you're really wrong, if you're really young,
If you're really young.
wrong is what I said.
I know, we're past 15 seconds.
Yeah, if you're really young, you shouldn't be watching this video.
No, you should not be watching this video. You should be watching this show. So, obviously you see we got the standard array, S, A, B, C, and D. We don't have an F because I don't think we need to waste anybody's time with an F in this list.
I don't think any of the characters deserve to be an F.
Exactly.
There'll probably be a couple in D. We'll see when we get there.
Yeah, honestly.
But let's hop right into it.
Yeah. Starting off
Aang.
with
Aang,
MC himself. Aang.
the pivotal Avatar, The Last Airbender.
Title of the show. Title of the name.
Main character, but, very blessedly, without the stereotypical arrogant main character energy.
Yes, it's instead of arrogance, it's naivety.
Which
Yes.
is great because he's a
And
10-year-old kid.
innocence.
Well,
Yes.
110, but who's counting?
I'm thinking ARS. He is the MC.
Yeah, he is the MC. He's meant to be the driving force of the show. But obviously his character was designed. I mean, besides learning all the elements and going through all that training, I think he had some of, I don't want to say the least amount of growth, but when it comes to the other characters we're going to go over, a smaller amount. He had a lot.
he had a shit ton of personal growth. Are you kidding me?
Well,
he
I-
had to do whole character arcs.
That's what I'm saying,
Just
because
about-
he's the main designated character.
I know, but that doesn't take away from the fact of how much growth that he had.
I'm not saying he didn't have any.
I know, but you're saying he had like some of the least in the show.
Well, compared to the
Compared to-
main set of characters, some of them had more.
No, they don't.
I would argue Zuko has more than him.
I would not. I think, despite Zuko's character growth and how massive it seems, that's really more of just an alignment change than anything.
Interesting.
He has an alignment change, and he starts trying to be better,
He 180s, which
He
makes
does.
it very stark.
which makes it very stark. I would not necessarily say he went through more character growth than Aang, because Aang not only had to have character growth regarding accepting the fact that he was the Avatar, which is literally the whole reason the show exists in the show's universe,
Yes.
is that he was trying to run away from his responsibilities because he was a 10-year-old boy
Yes.
who was told that the whole weight of the world was going to be on his shoulders. He had to grow through all that, learn how to accept it, start working on it because he realized, oh shit, the world's in turmoil again and I'm going to need to do something about it. He has to grow through all the different lessons of not just learning the elements, but changing his whole stance as a person almost. Like, he has to work out how to fit in all these different elements and the things that he's going to need to succeed into his original beliefs and ideals and trainings, which were pacifistic in nature. They were, certain things are good, certain things are bad. He had to outgrow all of that to get to the point where he could do half the shit that he did.
Yeah.
And personally, I feel like that's a lot more growth than just, I'm going to try to be a good guy from now on. I'm going to help you instead of hunt you down.
Definitely oversimplifying Zuko. But,
Yes.
But I think it's the difference between stark change in a story, which is Zuko in this instance, and subtle change.
Yeah, because we knew watching it, Aang was going to have to do all that. At the start, at the very beginning.
Yes, you know that Aang's going to have to change.
Yes.
But Zuko, on the other hand, we didn't.
I don't think that inherently makes Zuko's character growth more.
No. But like what we get from the beginning and where we know the story has to go, we know Aang has to go through all of that. And at the beginning,
we are
and there's other
predisposition.
And there's other things that end up being character growth for him that we don't know are going to happen right at the end.
Yeah.
Like he has that whole fucking has that whole character arc where he's by himself at one of the air temples with that guru guy.
Unlocking
all his chakras.
Trying to get the Avatar state.
Trying to get the Avatar state back after what happened with Azula. And one of his main things that he's having to work through in that is letting go of all the bullshit that's happened to him. Letting go of all the trauma. Like, working through all of the shit. And then finally learning how to let go of the people that he cares about the most.
Yeah.
And he ends up not doing it.
He ends up not doing that the first time. And then having to do it again separately on his own, and after realizing the mistakes.
Realizing the difference.
Yes, realizing the difference that letting them go does not mean that you don't care about them.
Yes.
Yeah.
That being able to detach yourself from things is not the same as not loving people.
I think Aang's character growth is much more of a abstract, much more nuanced and complex.
Absolutely.
I don't think either is more or less. I think
No,
they're
I
different
don't think
growths,
so either.
period.
But I just think from what Dakota was saying, he was trying to quantify that Zuko's growth was more than Aang's, and I just disagreed with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine. Where would we rate him? S or A? Because obviously that's kind of the discussion where we're at. Yes, he is the MC. He's going to have the most screen time. He's going to have the most story that he is involved with. Is that enough to make him S, is my question. Or do you think that there are other characters that deserve higher ranking than the MC in this story? Because being perfectly honest, he is obviously the center point as MC.
Yes.
But I think they do so well with the writing and the development of other characters, like we have already talked about, that it's almost like he isn't an MC.
Yeah.
So, keeping that in mind through the whole story, there's obviously people as developed as him. Some I wouldn't argue any are more developed than him. I think there's a level of development for a handful or a host of these characters.
Yeah.
But taking personal opinion, where would you put Aang?
I mean, especially as long as we're not doing, like, just one person in S tier, I think we can put Aang in S.
That's valid.
I think that
That's valid.
overall, he's a driving force of the show.
Yes.
He's the MC. He can't not be. But his writing, his characterization, the growth, the development, it's all, like, done so well.
It's written well.
It's written well. He's got a great story. And I think for that reason that we can safely give him an S and not feel like it's undeserved, you know?
Yeah.
That's valid. That's valid. completely different take. Appa.
Appa.
Big pivot here.
He's, for the most part, their mode of transportation.
Yes.
And the entire driving force of a single arc.
Yeah, he has his own arc.
Yep.
He does.
Oh yeah, a whole arc.
Of Appa being lost. And it was tragic and beautiful. And I cried.
Him and one other character have the least, and two other characters have the least spoken lines, but he doesn't have the least spoken lines. He's just in with the other two. But despite that, there's obvious character. Where would you guys?
He's a
put
good,
Appa?
loyal companion, loving, protective.
He is the Avatar's companion.
Yes.
I would put him in A.
A.
That's what I think it goes.
I feel B.
B?
I feel B. I feel that we are in the very beginning of this tier list. And if we put Appa in A, we're going to be putting a lot of things in A and S.
Okay.
When we start actually comparing.
Okay. I'm okay with
Appa's
that.
a good boy.
He might be a good boy, but I agree with that.
B. Once again, another style of pivot. Now a bad guy. A antagonist in these stories.
Then I say one of the biggest.
A crazy bitch.
She is a
Bad
work of
shit.
something. And done in such a right way.
Yeah, exactly.
It's nutty how good the writing in the show
The
is.
writing for her alone, and
Deserves a fucking Emmy.
she's written so well on her downfall, is what I'm going to refer
Her
to it
hubris.
as. Her hubris is done phenomenally well.
Her personal story.
Exactly.
Yes. I think it's a huge window or a mirror in reflection to Zuko.
Yes.
And I think that is... They knew what they were doing with all of these characters that we're going to go through. And I think she is a trophy of that statement. They know exactly what they were doing with every single character.
Yep.
She's just... Azula really gets me, like, as a character, because I'm a sucker for a good, like, relatable or, like, tragic villain story. And she's got one of the best, probably, out there.
It's there. It's definitely there.
It's definitely there. Like, you look at the characterization they give her, you look at all the glimpses that we get into why Azula is the way she is.
And the way that they did it in such a long breath. And then,
slow.
And then they picked it right up at the end.
Yeah.
With it.
It was slow and steady throughout the whole show, and then just at the end, bam, 90 degrees.
Yep. By the end,
Take you by a turn.
by the end of the series, you legitimately start to feel pity for her.
Yeah.
And for, the fact that she turned out this way. And I think that's a beautiful thing to have in a villain.
I'm putting her A because I know she's not going lower.
Yes.
No, absolutely not. I don't...
But do we argue S? That is the question.
I mean, the writing for her is phenomenal, as with all the characters, but the way she went and the subtle, slow turn of it all as the show progressed was written smoothly.
Yes. I like you said, all the writing for these characters are phenomenal, which means they all have that, basically.
Yes.
So what is giving her S above the others is the real question.
Yeah.
I argue that she stays A.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Because this is very early.
Yeah, exactly.
We have a lot to go through, and I think this is actually going to be one of the rarer tier lists that probably at the end we will probably have some movement going on.
Possibly, yeah.
But honestly, again, the show itself is beautifully written.
Yeah.
And her character, beautifully done. Beautifully done, specifically. The interactions are nutty.
Yeah.
They're really good, really good. Moving off of that, this guy right here. Anybody remember his name?
Nope.
No, but if I had to guess, it either starts with a B or a C.
Based on where he is on the list.
Based on where he's at.
Yes.
I don't remember where he's from. I don't remember what he does.
I'm looking at his picture more and more.
He looks water tribe. That's about it.
He is in the story. He is the character that is a fighter in the.
Is he in the prison?
He is at one point, but before that, he's Northern Water Tribe, and he shows up in a surprise boat on a beach, and he's injured from a big fight.
Southern Water Tribe. If he's from the same as Sokka and Katara, it'd be Southern Water Tribe.
Yeah, I have him flipped. Southern Water Tribe, and he's very close. He's brothers in arms with their father.
Yeah.
He has a very strong presence in one episode, and then he kind of comes back in the prison. Because he shows up, he makes a reappearance there, I believe.
Obviously, because I think that's where that picture is taken from, is the prison.
Yes. And ultimately, I think he is one of those characters that make the scenes possible for Aang to be an S. He is part of the character growth for Aang, where he starts to grow up, realizing the jealousy and stuff with Katara and Sokka. It's the first time.
I don't remember anything about this guy. I don't remember any of the scenes he showed up in. I don't remember jack shit.
It is the first scene where Aang does something bad after the inciting incident of running away, which is expected from a child. Thrown into such a big thing. It's the first where he hides a secret and information, a letter from their father. Out of anger and jealousy. Because there's a chance that they are going to separate from Aang and go with him. And that's what he thinks.
Don't take it out.
So, I think he is a platform for that, but that does not make a good character.
Yeah.
I mean, it's done beautifully well, but I think that more reflects on Aang and the writing for Aang than for him.
Yeah.
I would be totally fine putting him in C.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, good. I was going to say if you try to get him any higher than C, I'm a riot.
C was kind of my go-to area.
C is where it feels.
Yeah.
I was just trying to elaborate to jog people's memory as what part he kind of played. Again, in the prison, he's a side character because others are more in the spotlight in the prison arc, but he is still there. He is this kind of support character there, giving them another face, giving them something.
Yeah.
And it kind of, he plays a part in the story as far as in the writing to show the impact that there is still, fighters out there. There is still this global conflict happening.
Yeah.
And I think that's his kind of purpose in the story, is to show that up a couple times, to keep it in sight that, there is this buildup that there will be an army or something like that at some point. Kind of energy.
Yeah. Cabbage Man.
The man, the myth, the legend.
He, in the show, he's the on-running gag. Every
He
town,
is the joke character.
Exactly. Every town they go through, every episode they could, they break this man's heart.
Every Earth Kingdom episode, just
My cabbages.
my cabbage.
My cabbages.
He gets such a strong presence that in the sequel to this show, Legend of Korra, there is an entire
he owns a company.
Cabbage Corp.
Well, he's dead.
Well, he started the company.
Of course he's dead. But yeah, he's got his own statue. He still makes multiple appearances in a whole nother sequel.
Yes.
Because there's a whole arc with Cabbage Corp and stuff like that. And it's you gotta have some of that in a show. I think that's one of the things that keeps the show light.
Yes.
And humorous. I think it spans all throughout.
Yeah, he's
it's
there.
It's not just he's there first.
Every season.
Yeah, he's there all the way through. And
I think he deserves at least a B.
I was gonna say B or C. Those I don't think he should be A.
Yeah.
Or D.
Definitely not A.
Definitely not A because he doesn't have enough character development or like any real characterization outside of just being a cabbage merchant.
Yeah.
I think he's written in there for a purpose and he serves that purpose.
Yeah.
But the question is that purpose more impactful than him?
I would put them on par.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
I think C. I think they're kind of in the same ballpark.
Yeah.
Where they are written in and serving a purpose for the greater good. Speaking of a purpose.
Sparky, boom, boom.
Combustion
Sparky,
man.
Sparky, boom man.
Combustion man.
Combustion man.
Sparky, boom man.
Sparky, boom man. I love this character.
Yeah.
You don't got much to work with.
If this was my tier list,
yeah.
If it was a me show right now,
yeah.
He's an S.
He's an S.
But I know it's probably not gonna fly.
No, I mean, as a character.
Where's the characterization? Where's the growth?
There is no growth.
No.
Just like the guys in C, he serves a purpose. Mm-hmm. Just like Appa and B, he serves a purpose. It's just
Appa at least has characterization.
Well, I mean, he does have a
because he gets more airtime.
Exactly. He's not just an empty character.
He's not.
They come into it when they realize who he is. They're like, oh shit, we have to adapt to how he does things and overcome what he does.
He brings a whole different type of bending into the show.
Yes.
It is the first out of any mixing of bendings.
Yes.
It is the first that is brought up.
And never further explained in the entire series.
I mean, it shows up again in Korra.
I said the series.
Yes, in this series, it's never brought up. It shows that there is more out there than what they've already shown.
Yeah.
That there is a world. It also shows, and he serves his purpose, which is this very realistic danger and level of danger that the gang
the upscaling
gets into. I think his episode.
He had more than one episode.
He had more. Exactly.
He had like three or four.
He had like 3. His arc where he is prevalent.
And hunting them.
Is the mark where it gets real.
It gets serious.
Where it gets serious
that's
tone.
where it takes the...
I think he's the switch.
I was going to say, that's about the time where the show starts to
turns
get
off the lights.
More... Yeah, you guys have had it, not easy this time, but like, just the way the tone shifts at the start of his arc, and then carries on for the rest of the show.
Yes. I think he drops the show an octave into a different feel right towards the end.
Yeah.
And I think that is an impactful position, which makes him impactful. Which is why I would argue more than C, which is why I think S, because he serves such a good purpose that arguably, if they did not write it in such that way, it would not be as good of a show as it is. If they did not make that octave change.
Yes, but
in the writing.
He, as a character, was not required for that octave change to happen.
No.
They could have written any character in to do that.
And they wrote him, which expands the world.
I don't think he deserves us.
I know you guys don't. But that's my personal opinion.
Yeah. I would.
So where would you guys put him?
B or A?
B.
Okay. So middling out, he's an A, right? You want B, he says A, I say S. Right?
Yeah.
Sure.
That's kind of where we're at. Or are you saying B2 only?
Well, I said B or A.
Yeah.
Make a decision, Libra.
Outing the man.
Oof, just out of man.
That's okay. They have like 30 days now that they have to guess to figure out your birthday.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. I don't know. I would say put him in A. That's where I would.
Okay. Then it is decided. Next up, we have the random fucking sandbender who stole Appa.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's the one they intimidated.
The son.
Yes, the one that they scared the shit out of and that Aang almost murdered.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's like he
You
has a
stole
purpose.
Appa!
Again, it's like a character that's written to give such a good writing
Yes.
scenario for Aang,
Exactly.
right?
But
I
he's
think-
got even less going for
I
him.
was gonna say I think
than
he's
the
got
2 and
less.
C.
Exactly. I think he's got less going on with him.
He's got one episode.
Exactly. Not even like 5 minutes of screen time. Not even.
Yeah. He's got
I-
like one episode.
I would say this would be our first team.
Yep.
Yes, he's a good push,
Yeah.
but as for what he has for him,
there's just not much to talk about. There's not much to talk about. Speaking,
Gyatso.
Monkey Atso.
Gyatso.
Aang's teacher.
Yep, mentor,
Father figure.
father
Yeah.
figure. He serves that purpose, and is a purpose that needs to be served, and they write him super well.
He died valiantly.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He died. Theorized killing himself as well
Yes.
by sucking out all the oxygen,
In the room that he and the other he and the firebenders were in,
thus stopping the firebenders from using their fire
and killing them all.
and killing himself in the process.
What a G.
And it was another driving force for Aang to.
It's the first.
It's the first time that Aang truly sees what the conflict has been.
Yes.
It shows the change in the world. It's the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's
it
his
shows
first
the change.
real experience, besides the warship.
Yeah.
And then later with flashbacks, you get more character, more of their relationship.
You see how much Gyatso actually
Yes.
cared about Aang, how bad he didn't want to tell him.
How it shows how much there is of him in Aang.
Yes.
It shows that. It shows where Aang has gotten all of this.
And
kind of
even
thing.
Monkey Atsu was the one that. I'd say it's not exactly where he gets all his goofiness from, but Monkey Atsu is also like a lot more
Yes.
lenient than all the other airbenders with him. It's like, oh, hey, check this out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And also, just as a fun little like tie-in, you know how Aang and Toph during some of the swamp episodes, Toph asks if he really thinks that friendships can span lifetimes. At a certain point in the show, I don't remember if it's this one or if it's Korra, but you find out that Avatar Roku, right before Aang,
was
friends with Gyatso.
with Gyatso.
I think that would be Korra because I'm not familiar with it.
Okay.
I believe it
It's
was Korra.
it's a flashback at some point in one of the shows where
Yes.
Gyatso and Roku knew each other when they were young,
And he was learning
and
airbending
he was learning airbending at that temple.
Oh, yeah.
And
because they
then
would have been close to the same age.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then Aang was student to Gyatso,
Yeah.
and then you know the Aang and Korra stuff
Yeah.
that travels into the next life.
Yeah.
I would argue if he didn't have the flashbacks, he would be C.
Yeah.
Yes.
But because he does, I would put him in B.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's
I feel like that.
he's a strong foundational character for
Yes,
who
for
Aang
Aang.
is as a person. Some
And
of
that's
the
what he
change-
serves.
Yes, some of the changes that we see in Aang, and you know,
Development
he's
of
a good
Aang as a character.
he's a good character. Doesn't need to go anywhere else.
Yeah.
No.
Hakoda.
Hakoda. This is
Sokka
Katara and
Katara's dad.
Sokka's dad.
The OG
The OG DILF. Yes.
The first DILF that children saw from our generation and went, oh?
What?
Uh-huh.
Definitely for some. How is he as a character?
I mean...
He's a really good dad.
Yeah. He tries. He does his best.
All things considered, pretty good dad.
I think he's another, like, pivotal point. Like, yeah, he helps Aang learn, but not as much as his own kids. Which, in turn, help Aang learn even more, because he's the pushing force that is like, hey, you two... Stay with him. You are better than, some of your... or whatever the saying is. But, like, you two are good at what you do. Keep doing it. Don't try to impress. Keep going your own path.
Exactly.
Which is what I think really leads to more character development with both Sokka and Katara.
He's the quintessential leader trope.
Yes.
And you see that. And I think he is more of a backboard character for growth in Katara, Sokka.
Yes.
Developing them.
For sure.
100%.
He's definitely what drove those two to how they ended the show.
Exactly. And he serves that purpose. He does get a fair bit more screen time
In the later
and
seasons.
stuff later.
There's a whole arc about breaking him out of prison.
I feel like he's right on par with Monkey Island.
Yes.
I think they're serving very similar purpose.
Yes.
One being retroactive, one being active.
Yes.
And just for different characters.
Yes. Everyone's favorite bloodbender.
This,
Hama.
This lady, Hama.
Scared the shit out of me when I was little.
Another antagonist. I think
She's a very different style of antagonist.
she is the first in the show to show that a waterbender
Can be bad.
can be evil.
Yes, because
it breaks the mold.
Exactly. She's the first to break the mold that are like, hey, yo, waterbenders? Nah, bro, they can't do shit. They good. They're nice people. They healers.
They're only good. Yes.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. She comes in like, I'm gonna make you kill yourself by bending your blood.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. And
or I'm gonna kill you by bending your blood and cutting off your blood flow.
Scary as shit.
Yes, horrifying.
Teaches Katara good waterbending lessons.
Yes.
Oh.
That she does end up using.
100%. She is a antagonist built to show the difference and the more fluidness of the world, while also being a backboard character for Katara.
Yeah.
And showing development and giving her that situation.
And I think that Hama is also another really well done, not necessarily villain, but antagonist in the sense that,
it's reactionary.
It's reactionary. You hear what she says in the show and you just go, well shit, man, fuck, I'd probably do some fuck shit too in that situation.
Her evilness is stemmed from others' evil.
Yes.
Exactly.
She's never out there doing evil just for evil's sake.
Yep.
I do love the standard array that we have going right now.
It's a shame we're probably going to break it. It's a shame we're probably going to break it.
Indeed.
Because I would wager, I'm not for sure, but anywhere between A and C, I lean more towards B and A though.
Okay.
Because I think she's well written enough and is another push for Katara to think outside the normal box.
Yes.
Instead of just, carry your water with you. You can pull water from anywhere now, and even if you have to resort to it,
showing the power of water.
I also think she's a very good character growth moment for Katara in that, hey, you cannot always afford to be the gentle one.
Yeah.
Yes.
You cannot always afford to go at things the nice way.
Yeah.
Which is something that Katara desperately needed.
Yes.
Up to that point in the show.
Where would you put her?
Personally, I would say probably either high B or lowest A right now.
Okay. I would put her B, personally. And you're saying A or B.
And then I did decide more on B, though, I think.
B?
Yeah, because I think she lumps in with the other two we have as driving forces, regardless of the character. Well written, lines up with Gyatso and Bedette.
Yeah. What's this guy's name? Lee?
I don't remember.
No.
Is it Lee?
No.
No?
No, it can't be Lee. Because it's an alphabet.
It's either got to be an H or an I.
Haru? Why does that name come to mind?
That's a Studio Ghibli character. I don't know.
I don't know.
But we know what he is.
He's an earthbender.
Earthbender, kind of similar vein as Hama.
Yes.
Where he is a backboard character for Katara and shows just to a different people the effects in the world.
Yeah.
It shows the growth of the world, breaking that mold, but also showing, solidifying the nature of the enemies.
Yeah.
The antagonists.
Which,
setting a tone.
I think between him and the Bloodbender lady, Hama, I'd say this. I'm not saying a lot less to him, but a bit less to him when you compare them together.
I would agree with that.
They kind of.
I think less impact.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest.
He was more subtle.
Don't remember much about his episodes.
He is in the village under the Firebender's reign.
Yes.
Where earthbending is outlawed.
Yes.
He's that guy that practices earthbending out in the woods, and Katara sees him.
And then he uses
Katara
earthbending to help
in the world,
a cave
and then that guy turns him in.
Yeah.
Even for helping and saving his life.
Which
it shows much more reflection of it.
Yes.
Yes.
I'd put him.
Yeah.
He serves a purpose.
Yeah.
He serves that purpose.
Okay, I don't know about you guys. I know we're gonna want
No discussion needed.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I know we're gonna want to talk about him, but we really don't even need to talk about him.
If you're wondering why, and you haven't watched the show,
just go watch the fucking show.
Why are you still watching?
Yeah.
Why are you still watching at this point?
We have said so many spoilers.
Yes.
He's a great character. Objectively, like the best. Really.
He is the most quoted. He is the antithesis of the BBEG.
Yes.
Yes, being his literal brother.
S, 100%.
Yes, 100%. We don't need to talk about it.
John.
John.
The fire teacher for...
The original fire teacher.
Original fire teacher for Aang. He's a master.
Yes.
He is like Hama, same vein.
But opposite.
But opposite. It's flipped.
Yes.
He shows that there can be good firebenders, even though that is already served in a different way.
Yes.
But more importantly, he shows how destructive Aang's ideals are.
Yes.
He is the first one that makes Aang and truly see that if you do nothing, nothing changes, and you help no one.
Yeah.
Because he takes this pacifist mentality after mistakes in the past, and ultimately John wisens up fast enough after a lot of damage is done.
Yeah.
And I think it shows that there is this neutrality, that being even a pacifist is an extreme.
Yes.
And that any extreme can cause consequences.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing. And I think it shows in the show more than just to Aang.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's more for the audience.
Yes.
100%. I think they did that for the audience. Kind of almost foreshadowing all of the problems.
Yes, because he appeared fairly early on.
Yes, he was
in book one.
Yes, They met him not in the Fire Nation, obviously.
No, it was in the.
He was on the run in the Earth Kingdom.
Yes.
Right after they got there.
Yeah.
And serves a
he was also
enormous
the first
purpose.
He was also the first person to really
questioning.
Not only questioning, but also attempt to get Aang to see that, hey, fire isn't what you think it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just because
it's the opposite.
Just
or
because,
not the opposite, but yeah.
Just because it burns does not mean it's bad.
Yes. Exactly.
But then of course Aang doesn't listen.
Yes.
Has the incident with Katara and then closes himself up from
lives life.
firebending.
Yep. Causes this conflict, whatnot.
John John's fairly important. After his book 1 appearance, though, we literally do not see him again until like the final fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which that's a lot with a lot of these characters too.
Yeah. With
a fair amount.
With a fair amount of the characters. Despite how rarely we see him, though, I would make the argument that John John belongs in A.
Yes. I believe
I think the impact
his impactfulness early on is enough to put him up there.
And look, we're back to
we're
almost back to a Belter.
He sets something that is precedent and long lasting since his appearance.
Yes.
And it's there for a long time, like through seasons.
Yes.
So I would give it A. I think that gives him the edge.
Yes, definitely.
Going into A. Jet.
I mean, he's
refugee leader.
Yeah, really one of your standard side characters. He is
Firebender hater.
Yes, as you know, he would be being in the rebellion. He's had his ups and downs.
Yeah. There's a lot of development, a lot of changes.
Yes. But I don't think
story.
Yeah, I don't think he drives the story enough to be an A.
I argue A.
Okay.
Obviously, spoilers, you shouldn't be watching if you want to watch this show. His death. Is he not the first actual character death in the show?
One of the first that we actually see
on
camera.
There. It happens.
See on camera, and the group reacts to it as it happens,
right?
As opposed to after the fact.
I knew you were because I was like, as soon as you said, I don't think he's an A. I go.
I completely forgot.
And his death is a self-sack.
Yes.
To save everyone else.
Yeah, that's
Indeed.
right.
I think it's impactful.
Yes. Okay.
Very impactful.
No, whether or not you necessarily liked him as a character while he was alive, doesn't really matter.
T-Girl.
I'm so sorry, but we for the life of us could not remember her name.
She helped start to push Zuko in the right direction.
Yes. Her and Iroh after his weird fever coma.
Yes.
In Zuko arc.
Yes. C, I think. I think she's there with
serves
the
a purpose.
other. Yeah, exactly. She's there with the other guys.
The people that serve a purpose and do it well.
Serve a brief purpose, well done.
Yeah.
But don't really have a lot to do with the story.
These are characters that serve a purpose and yet are still impactful.
Yes.
That do larger waves in the story.
No one, Bossing said.
Hi, I'm Julie.
Yes, Julie. I would argue C. For she serves a purpose, and it's world creation. It's showing that the oddity and the change
it's showing,
in this Earth kingdom.
It's showing more outside of what we're being shown.
Exactly. Yeah. It's meant to break more molding.
Yes.
And she does it well. I think they wrote her well.
Oh, yeah, I remember. There's more than one of her.
I understand the appeal towards D, and I would be fine with D as well.
I was gonna say, I always think my initial thought.
She's low.
My initial thought was D.
My initial thought was also D, just because while she does serve a purpose,
it's.
I don't necessarily think it's. Yeah, I don't necessarily.
It's just like Sand Guy.
Yeah, I don't think herself was impactful enough of a character. She delivered her purpose.
Yes.
And she did it well, and she has a lot more screen time than some of the people in C.
Yes.
even.
But
because of
it's
who
more,
she is in the show.
It's more that she's a part of the world instead
Yes.
of being a character.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean that's kind of the whole point.
Yes.
She's
Exactly.
brainwashed.
Her and the 7,000 of her.
Yeah, look, I don't know how
Yes.
many Julies.
Yeah.
There's a
Hi, we are
whole lot
Julie.
in those classrooms.
Yeah.
June, the hot bounty hunter mommy.
On the giant mole shrew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever
That
it
can
is.
sniffy sniff snuff real good
Sniff
Yeah.
real good.
with a long ass tongue. That's also poisonous.
Yes.
There was so much going on there.
I would argue half of her character is her mount.
Yep.
Yes.
But she serves a purpose.
Yes.
I think she is a tool that was used well to get connectors in where they need to be. Her being hired to then also what she does and interaction with Iroh and Zuko, but then also later when she is then brought back for an episode, I think just one?
Yes.
Maybe two? I'm
Yeah, I
not
think
sure.
it is just one.
I think, and then showing that change and whatnot, I think it's almost in a way an anchor while also being a loop for the story to tie together
Yes.
in a certain spots. And I think it was strategic. I'm fine with B or C for her.
I want to say C just because I know someone's going to bring it up that would once again in a symmetrical form.
Yes, right. Throw that out.
There we go. Perfect.
it out,
Perfect.
get
We
it
don't
out.
need symmetry here.
No. It may be beautiful. Speaking on the next character, Katara. What? Did you have something to say about June?
Oh, I was just gonna say that I was also going to say C, not for the reason that Dakota said it,
Oh,
but just because,
there's less.
yeah. I just didn't
That's
think.
valid.
I just don't feel like she needs to be in B.
Yeah. Like I said, I was fine with B or C.
Katara,
Katara,
one of the quintessential characters of the show.
part of the gang. Team Force Avatar.
Yes.
Team Avatar.
She goes through a lot.
She does.
She's just, a kid at the start of the show, and by the end of it, she's more mature and understands her choices and the world around her a lot more than she did.
Has her own arcs.
Yes.
Has really good arcs.
You can tell that, you can see all the growth in those arcs and decisions that ultimately makes her the strong character that she is
Yes.
for the group later as well.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm okay with that.
I feel like she deserves it.
I think what we're gonna fall into is I think all
Most of Team
I think
Avatar
all of the core gang is
Yeah.
gonna be up
going
there.
to be S tier. I think, honestly, let's cut to the chase and move them all up there.
Yeah, go ahead, just take
Yeah.
Toph, Zuko, Sokka, all of them up there.
Yeah. Because
My-
I think they
The
all...
only question, or questionable one to me, is Suki.
I would argue she's not
No.
Team Avatar.
That was my question.
I don't
Do we
think she-
consider her part of the gang?
I don't think she grew...
Because she spends a lot of time with them.
She does spend a lot.
Towards the
but
beginning,
I don't
falls
think
out.
she goes through
And then
enough.
at the end again.
Exactly. I don't think she goes through enough as they do
Yeah.
to
It's
be
not
up
shown.
there. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. That was my main question,
Yeah.
was whether or not we were including her.
There's
in this
definitely a
big
gap.
movie.
These,
There's definitely a gap.
all four of these guys, they grow. They go through the shit.
They really do.
They honestly equally, like I said earlier when we were talking about Aang, they do so well with writing and developing each of their characters, giving them each arcs, each development, each growth, that they all could individually be an MC.
Yeah.
Yes.
By
Absolutely.
the end. There's reason why there's fan groups and clubs per character on
Yes.
here. And I think that speaks true
To
to
the writing.
the writing that they did in the show and to all the characters.
Yes.
I'm a Toph main.
Yeah.
Secondary's definitely Sokka.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That for me, I love Suki to death. I wanted that ship bad, man. I wanted that ship bad.
Oh, Toph and Sokka?
Yeah.
Toph and Sokka, I wanted that ship so bad.
We don't know who the we don't know who the dad is.
Yeah, but
that's not this show.
But they look it. You cannot tell me.
For them to make another show in the same world, and purely because some of the writers wanted it as well.
And fan service.
And fan service.
And in the books, Suki dies young compared to the rest of the game. So
Yes.
she could already be dead in what we see in Legend of Korra.
Yes. And so it speaks true to just the possibilities and all the different stories in between their characters as well. The writing, everything. Phenomenal.
I'm gonna be honest. I was a Zuko kid.
I know you were.
Yeah.
I know you were.
I love me a bad boy.
Bad boy, he's so edgy I can fix him.
King Boomy.
King?
My initial thought that I wanted, my gut.
Yeah, your gut
is B.
B.
Agreed.
Agreed.
He has a lot of screen time, yes, but I don't think he is as pivotal as the people we have in A. I'd say he's equally on footing with the three main ones we have there. Because, he makes Aang go through this trial to free Sokka and Aang. Katara! Free himself.
Free himself from his thinking. Yeah.
Exactly. The Aang and Boomy have history together from way back in the 100 years. But I don't think...
How did this motherfucker live this long?
Right.
Eating the rock candy.
Yeah.
And only eating leaves.
He eats rock candy.
Rock candy leaves.
Yeah, he's a strong character. He's well written. But
you guys are feeling and arguing that he is less impactful than John?
My gut is yes.
Well, I feel like all of Boomy's purpose when they meet him the first time is, I don't know, he's such a trickster the first time that they re-encounter
to show
each other.
them to have fun.
Yeah.
I would argue to teach Aang a very serious lesson in that he then uses later and has to relearn when Boomy shows back up in the series.
Which is?
To look at every situation from as many angles as possible. To teaching him how to assess instead of only hold to what he sees.
Yeah, I see that.
But I still don't think that one singular lesson is... I don't know. Maybe we need to drop John down then too, because I just don't...
He also served the purpose of showing what Earthbenders could do. Just like Hama, to a degree. Just like Azula, to a large degree as well. Showing what the Earthbenders can do, period.
Well, yeah.
What a high master class. Kind of like the Water Master, kind of like the Sword Master, all of those.
Yeah, the White Lotus.
Yeah. So see why he's on it.
Yes.
But I think B.
I don't know.
That's still so good.
A just doesn't...
For Boomy, it doesn't feel right.
It really doesn't.
John's on a different level than Boomy, I think, when it comes to the way they're written.
Alright.
Or they're on the same level and we just spoke too highly of John, and they should both be B. I don't know.
Okay. This king.
D.
He's got a bear.
My gut's D.
He's got a bear?
He's got a bear, a platypus bear.
He's got a regular
that's right,
bear.
it's a regular bear.
Yeah, they run into a platypus bear.
That's what it was.
It drops an egg.
The platypus bear is in the circus.
Yes. You're right, he does have a regular bear.
And also in the wild.
But no, D...
Yeah, he's there. There's not much to write home about.
He's world building.
He's part of the
world building,
not character.
And he's a coward.
Yeah.
He's part of the world, not a character.
Yeah.
Alright.
Avatar motherfucking Kyoshi.
Avatar Kyoshi.
First other Avatar other than Aang.
Yeah.
The Avatar
before
Roku.
Yeah.
Yes.
2 before Aang, 1 before Roku.
She's grandma.
Yes, basically.
Where would you put her in this show?
I would put her...
Because my gut check is C.
That's where mine is too, actually.
Mine was B.
Why?
Because Avatar Kyoshi, despite the limited amount of interactions that she has throughout the show, whether it's her history or actual her, the one time she makes an appearance.
Yeah. Spirit form.
In spirit form, does serve to teach a good lesson. And it's a lesson that Aang doesn't necessarily take to heart.
It's sorely needed. Yeah.
But it was sorely needed because think about, what he would have been in the fight against Ozai had he not had that lesson of sometimes you have to take action against an enemy. Sometimes you have to be okay with whatever damage is going to come of it.
Taking life.
Yes, which, spoiler alert, we know he doesn't at the end. But
yes,
he finds a way to mesh not only what she was trying to teach him, but also his personal ideals to be,
to find a different
find a different way to look at it and to find a solution that works for both of them. Where, Ozai is no longer a threat, just like Chin the Conqueror was no longer a threat after she yeeted him.
Yes.
But he got to do it his way. I also think that her whole island story with the Chin the Conqueror place was an interesting hot take for Aang about how not everyone always likes the Avatar.
That's valid.
And that was something that was obviously very surprising to him. Because
again, world building.
Yeah,
stuff.
more world building stuff, more like, because they did Chin the Conqueror not too long after they had their first interaction with actual Kyoshi Island.
Yes.
And the Kyoshi Warriors, or was it before?
It was later, actually.
Later.
The Chin the Conqueror came later.
Yeah. So they did the Kyoshi Warriors first, so they got to see the other end of the spectrum where it's like, we worship Kyoshi, basically. She is the founder of our entire people.
Yes.
She is our great protector. She was alive, generations ago or whatever.
And then you see the other side.
And then you see the other side of the spectrum where, no, we hate that bitch. She killed our leader, and because you're technically her, we hate you.
We were gonna serve you your crimes.
Yeah.
Yes. So you think?
My gut said B. My gut said B because I feel like she's a good example of impactful despite the lack of screen time.
I mean, with how you said that she was really the one that taught Aang, you don't have to act, and you don't have to kill to get your job done or whatever. Or don't be afraid to act.
Yeah.
It could also be said that about a lot of other characters she ran into.
Yeah, because it took forever for him to learn the fucking lesson.
But a majority of them were also telling him that too.
Yeah, in some way, shape, or form.
Exactly.
I don't know. I feel C.
If you guys both say C, you out.
Yes.
Both.
She still feels C to me. She serves a purpose.
Yeah.
And does it well. Just like all the others in C.
Yeah.
I don't think she's as impactful.
You don't think Avatar Kyoshi is as impactful as Appa?
Nope.
No.
She is in 3 episodes.
Did Avatar Kyoshi help them fly around the entire world?
She is.
No.
She is 3 episodes. Has no arc. It makes sense.
She didn't. Okay, she didn't help them fly around. Put her in C.
She's. Yeah. C.
All right.
This guy.
I forget his name.
Well, it obviously comes up to K.
Mm-hmm. Head of.
It's probably L.
Probably.
Head of the Dao
Li Shang.
No, that's from Mulan.
But he's the head of the Dao Li.
Dai
Li.
Yeah.
Which is the
CIA. The FBI.
Yeah, of Ba Sing Se. Trying to keep it under wraps and, hypnotizing all the people.
Convince people that there is no war.
He is an arc BBEG.
He is an arc bad guy.
Yeah. Big bad boy. I think he serves the purpose of showing the evil that can be in one, government, but also earthbenders.
Yeah.
Like, I think he kind of breaking the mold, like Hama in that same aspect as well.
Yes.
But also, he's like an actual, arc bad guy instead of a 1 episode bad guy.
Yeah.
Also, in that same coin, he is that way more for other characters' benefits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A little bit. Like Appa.
Yeah.
Like Jet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And obviously, like Zuko.
Yeah.
And Iroh. Mm-hmm. It's kind of him that sets some of Zuko's stuff off.
Yeah.
Yeah, with like the blue spirit stuff.
Yes. Well, I wouldn't give him that. I think he's the straw that breaks the camel's back.
Yeah.
Between him, Zuko, and Iroh. Because everything before that is chalked up to a guy that happens at the end.
Yeah. So you're saying B or A, right?
I'm saying B.
B? Oh yeah, I'm okay.
I'm saying B.
I can vibe with B.
I can vibe with B.
I would not give him A.
No, he doesn't deserve it.
Okay.
I believe B. He's same vein as Hama, I would argue, because he's got a whole arc and stuff.
Yeah.
You get a lot more of him,
Mm-hmm.
so he's definitely more than Hama, is what I would say. So I think B, but not deserving of
Yeah. He's one of Jet's, man.
Yeah,
it's Hawkeye.
Yeah, he's quiet. I think he's mute most of the time.
He doesn't say anything.
Noises,
He does like little signals, and he says like 1 or 2 lines.
The entire time you see him,
yeah.
The whole
But
show.
aren't they like...
He takes the cake above Momo and Appa for least amount of words said in the show.
Yeah, but aren't those like, what he says, isn't like important?
It's not necessarily that it's important.
It's important to characters that aren't as important to the audience.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think one of the
it's
times...
important for Smellerbee.
Yes.
It's
one of the
only
only times he speaks is right after Jet dies.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
I think
D. D, yeah.
Yeah.
Not impactful. He's impactful for other characters.
Could we say the same with them about the rest of Jet's crew?
I think
Smellerbee and Duke?
Smellerbee, Duke,
Pipsqueak, yes.
Pipsqueak and Duke. I think, yes, all of them. D, they're side characters to add on to Jet.
But they're done well.
They're done well.
We're not saying they're done bad.
They're just tropes.
Yes.
They're just tropes. They're well done tropes, which we always love.
Yes.
Time for quintessential sad girl hours.
Yo, fucking goth mommy. You were all thinking it. I'm just the one saying it.
My gut with her is like B. My gut with her is B.
I surprisingly think I agree with that. I don't think
I would argue.
I don't think she is impactful enough to the main story to be given A. She's got a good characterization. She's got a good turning point.
And a good push for Azula in her arc.
Yes, and for Zuko in his.
Yes, exactly.
I think she is one of those backboard characters that we are putting in
Yes.
She's fitting that mold a little bit here.
Yes.
Yes.
Where she is that backboard character. Really done well.
Yes.
Obviously.
She's done so well.
But the impact.
Would we want to go ahead and say the same thing for Ty Lee? Since
Yes.
Yes.
100%.
Since their arcs are basically intertwined.
Yes.
That she again offers that one, Fire Nation aren't bad.
Yes.
Innately. And also giving both
She
of
definitely
these two.
pushes Azula more than she interacts with Zuko.
Zuko, yes.
It's May that interacts the most with Zuko.
With Zuko.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But they're in the same boat.
They are the backboard characters for these two to be great.
Inventor Dad.
Inventor Dad. Teaching great lessons, not just to Aang, but also to Sokka.
Yeah.
Showing that Sokka is not dumb comic relief.
Yes.
My gut is telling me C.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's valid. I think C. I think
And
it's character growth for these guys
I equally think his son.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There he is.
there he is. Yeah, they're again.
They're a pair. They're a unit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They definitely both, because the son teaches Aang more than he teaches any of the other three
Yeah.
Yep,
at the time.
and he more teaches Sokka.
Yes.
Mhm.
They equally.
Very similar to these two.
Yes, exactly. But less introspective.
Yes.
And story.
Less impactful.
Yeah, impactful, yeah.
Momo.
Can we put Momo with Appa?
Yes.
Okay.
He deserves it.
Thanks.
He deserves it.
I was gonna be very sad.
Again, has more lines than him.
I don't know, guys. Hear me out.
Stop. Stop what you're doing.
You're thinking A?
No, I was gonna go for C.
Oh.
For Ozai?
I'm kidding. No.
No, for Momo.
For Momo. I'm kidding.
I think that is valid of a thought, but it doesn't change the fact that that Appa is once again this style of writing where one is more active and the other more more subtle.
Yes.
Where both of these are meant to be for Aang,
Yep.
his family.
Yes.
It's the last.
No, yeah.
They're all supposed to be kind of the last of their.
Yeah, I wasn't arguing
thing.
with B. I was just
Yeah.
throwing some shit.
I'm just throwing it at Daniel.
Ozai.
Ozai.
The Ozai.
I really want to say A form.
Oh, absolutely.
Put
If
respect
not,
on his name.
If not,
the
even
Phoenix King.
S.
The Phoenix King.
If
Ozai.
not, even S. The reason
I-
I want to lean more towards S is the fact that he didn't get officially revealed until like halfway through the second season or the beginning of the third.
That's true. We never saw his face.
We either saw silhouettes, heard his voice,
Only saw
which,
his
Or like
body.
chest
which
down.
Mark Hamill
Oh yeah.
did phenomenal, and I think really put the character together.
It gave. He is.
He gave the character life.
He is the bad guy, and the way that they write him is.
He is just a bad guy.
He is.
Yeah.
He is the unstoppable force.
Mm-hmm.
Simple as that. He is that character, and I think it is something. And he's filling that role exquisitely.
Yeah.
Exquisitely.
So S.
Obviously, not lower than A.
No, he has to be at least A.
100%. You
So-
argue S.
So-
Yes, I argue S.
So Ozai and Zhao for me, both, are good examples of a different style of antagonist than some of the
Yes.
others that we've seen. Where some of the others, like Azula, an antagonist of Ozai's own making,
Yes.
Yes.
is
indeed.
more of the tragic variety because you can see the retroactive
Yes.
You can see
aspects.
why.
You can see the reactive aspects.
Yes.
Ozai really gives me like evil for the sake of evil, which is
He is
kind
the
of
power.
he's that's an oversimplification, obviously,
Oh, yeah.
but he is that political power. Nothing else matters. Just kind of plain bad.
He is the ambition. He is the
Yeah.
power. Yes.
Yes.
And I think the reveal they did with him was fucking phenomenal. Where all you knew at like book one Season 1 was his name. Barely his voice.
Was his name? You didn't hear his voice?
I think you heard it at the very end.
At the very end of, season 1.
Yes.
When Zuko
it was
revealing.
more of a flashback
Yes.
for Zuko.
Yes.
Yeah.
When it's revealed how Zuko got a scar.
I think the way they did him, and the way they revealed him even, and kept him you knew
obscure.
the Fire Lord was the problem, but you knew nothing about him.
That's valid.
I think the way they did him, yes.
I would want to say yes, but he is a very, very, very good, well-executed trope.
Yes.
I think he's top of A. I think a different bad guy gets S for me. That's my opinion. But obviously we're going to talk about
It's the boulder, isn't it?
No. The boulder!
The boulder!
Is it Zhao?
Yes.
Is Zhao
It
gonna
is
for you?
Zhao. It is 100% Zhao. He is the bad guy.
He's the bad guy, he's just not the big bad guy.
He's just not the thing at the end.
No.
It's like
His hubris is his undoing.
he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
He is a villain, while Ozai is
A supervillain.
more part of the world. You know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's that difference of writing that makes, I feel like, a villain like Zhao is better than a villain like Ozai in every other show, in any other writings. The bad guy that is characterized in such ways like Zhao is liked and is better writing, I would argue, than a world enemy at the very end like Ozai. I think there's more interaction, obviously, things of that nature. I think they both have their merits, but I would give the edge to Zhao over Ozai, which is why I would want Ozai at A, and I'm going to argue hard for Zhao to be S.
I agree with Ozai. Honestly, I do not think Ozai deserves S.
Okay. Again, high A. I think he's just there. If they didn't have Zhao in the show, which I don't know how they wouldn't have had someone like him. Yes, I would just throw him in.
Well, I mean,
S. But because Zhao's role is filled in just as well of a way of writing, he is the type of villain that deserves S. Right? That's my opinion. That's my opinion. And yeah, high A for Ozai. He's done so well.
Yeah. Exceptionally well. Vodka.
alright. Waterbender.
Funny
bitch.
water old man. Whatever his name is.
I don't remember his name.
In love with Gran Gran.
Yes.
Gran Gran is the woman that got away. He's the asshole that pushed her away.
I'm at BSC with him. With what it shows us, and yeah, he grows a bit.
Yeah.
But
Yes, because
think-
Katara basically
I think
beats
B.
his ass and
Yeah.
makes
I think B. He's really fitting into the mold here that we have in B, where they are serving a purpose. They
you're
are
right, old men that
giving-
teach young people a lesson.
Exactly.
Or young people that give other young people the push that they need to get together.
Exactly. Yes.
Or worse. Or push them to their psychotic breaks.
Staying in that same frame of thought.
Swordmaster.
Swordmaster.
I would say B as well.
That's valid.
He's-
I would say more impactful than him.
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
for sure.
100%. Absolutely.
Yes.
Because
each their own-
Sokka gains so much more from the sword guy than
Then
Katara does
Katara
from...
gains from him.
Yeah.
And Aang
Yeah.
from him. I would want to argue A for Swordmaster. Low
Sure,
A.
do it. Put him up there.
if-
Put him up there with John John.
Exactly. That's my
Yeah.
main reason.
Okay.
I think he's as impactful as John John.
I think so too.
Okay.
Just happens to be for Sokka.
Okay. Avatar Roku.
Roku.
I think this is gonna fall into a Kyoshi thing. Like, we really don't see much, and what we do
We see more than
I would
Kyoshi.
say, I
You
don't know,
see a
we
lot
see
more than
more.
Kyoshi. But
And
He's the
he's
father, not
also
the friend.
referenced
he's
way more.
because he's the most recent Avatar up
Yeah.
until Aang comes back.
But that and the fact that if it wasn't for him and going against what he was told, none of this in the show would be happening.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
it's because of his choice that he made.
I think he's core to the foundation
Yes.
of the show.
I think
In
he's
the-
higher
in the
than
story.
Kiyoshi.
For sure. 100% higher than C.
Yes.
The question is B or A for me.
I think
don't
B.
think
I
he's
was
I don't think
thinking-
he's S.
I was thinking B.
Okay.
I think B.
If there
Yeah,
was,
I'm fine with either,
If
but
we had a bit
that's
more
my
to it,
question
if we had a
for
bit
Tristan.
more to
I
it,
also
which we did get a lot to him. If we had a bit more, I'd say.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also really enjoy the twist that Zuko and Azula are actually descended from both Sozin and Roku.
Yes.
Yes.
Also, like the only real reason why I would want A is because of what the impact that he's had in the real world.
Yes.
With TV remotes and
Shut the fuck up.
TV
All right.
TV streaming services.
Bad joke. Bad joke.
All
There's
right.
got to be a joke in here somewhere. Come on.
This old man. I
That's
don't remember.
Sozin.
Oh shit.
That's Sozin.
That is Fire Lord Sozin.
I remember. My
He-
image in my head is.
He is Ozai's grandfather.
Yeah. Dad.
Dad, yes.
Yes.
It's Azulan, Sozin, Ozai.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yes.
Cool.
He is backboard character to him.
Yes.
Yeah.
So therefore, I think they.
I think so.
Oh, see.
I think C. He's a backboard. He serves a great purpose, and that is it.
Okay.
He serves a purpose well, just like all of these characters.
I'm with Michaela actually, with him being B.
Really?
Because of the world building around him and his actions. I think
'Cause
he
think about
had as much input on
Yeah.
the world as.
You're thinking based off of impact.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
Okay.
the history.
think
and
about
stuff
it.
I can see
behind
it. I can see it.
Sozin's comment. Sozin is the reason that the war started. Sozin is the reason that the air nomads are dead.
Yes.
He's the reason everything is going on.
Him and Roku.
valid.
They're,
Him
they're,
and Roku,
they're intertwined.
yeah.
Just like
Okay.
Just
Just
like,
like these two,
yeah,
just like these
Meg and
two.
Ty Lee.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's valid. That's valid. These 2. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm noticing the pattern of pairs
Yeah.
of importance kind of in the background. Like, I'm surprised his dad's not on here.
Well, I don't think his
Was
dad.
his dad in it?
Yeah, because he's
the one-
big in the prison.
Oh,
He's
fuck,
big in the
that's
prison arc.
Right.
Yeah, because they get taken to the cold,
Yeah.
the island or whatever.
Shit.
He's big. He's big in the prison
Yeah.
arc. I'm surprised they don't have him on this list.
But
I
yeah.
think he's probably the only character that I would say would be quote unquote missing
Yeah.
off of this list, because that would be a perfect another pair as far as importance
Yeah.
and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm surprised how many pairs we're getting. It's almost like there's some sort of design to
Maybe
the
there's actual good writing in a show for once.
Oh my god.
Who would have
World
thumped
building?
it?
Who'd have thought we'd be reviewing a show from what?
2004, 2005, I think.
Yes.
I think it
If not
dropped.
six.
I think it dropped in 06.
I was saying, I think
06 or
06.
something.
It was around
that
there.
we're
I think it ran
getting
from
this in
06
depth on
to
a show
10.
from 06.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to do something modern. Who'd have thought
Right?
writing was better when you put that much effort into it?
Suki.
Suki.
Our girl Suki. I think she deserves A.
You think she deserves A?
I think she deserves A.
Yeah.
She's impactful to the story. She helps to drive not only the main plot, but she also drives home a lot of the.
What does she drive for the main plot?
Well, she starts pushing. I think.
I think she's a huge support character.
Yes,
for Sokka.
I'd say more support than
She's
like
a
the
support
main
character.
plot.
She's a support character for Sokka.
Yeah.
She helps break through a lot of the mold of what was his thought and his teaching and everything, as far as how he thought about the world and how he thought about women.
Mm-hmm.
She has a fairly decent role to play in later arcs, especially with breaking their dad out of prison.
Yeah, the prison arc. Yeah.
Yeah.
Prison arc. There's the sea monster arc.
Yeah, the path.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And then she shows up to help fight.
Well, no, she stays with him the whole time after that. Remember?
Yeah, she stays with them.
So
But how much?
she becomes
exactly.
like a main character.
If I forget that she's there the whole rest of the time.
I'd say she's more of a support than pushing main plot. She for sure helped push Sokka in the way he went.
Yeah, I don't know how she directly affected the main story. That's what I was trying to get from you. How she directly affect the main plot, besides just helping the group.
I mean, is that not enough?
I mean, a lot of people on this have helped the group.
Yeah, that's the argument. Because yes,
I know, but we
never
never made the distinction of any of the other people of whether they're helping the group push the main plot or not.
Well, yeah, I'm just simply saying you said that she has, and I asked why and when.
I think she's more of a support than pushing the main plot.
Okay, but do you disagree with giving her A?
My gut was B. That was my gut.
I would be fine with A, honestly. More thinking about it.
I'm okay with A, but my gut was just my gut instinct.
My gut was B as well, but looking at the people in A, she's like again active versus
inactive.
Like
or
subtle.
Like the occasion.
Yeah.
The subtle.
Yeah.
And I think she's the subtle. I think she's the subtle that shows up periodically. Mm-hmm. While these guys are high impact.
But only
high impact. And is only in there for an arc. She gets double the amount of arcs and presence in the show and is doing like half of the impact every time. So it kind of equates almost, just writing wise. Yeah. I think it's, again, a difference between explosive writing and subtle writing.
Yes.
The Boulder!
The Boulder! B for Boulder.
Yes, absolutely B for Boulder.
B for Boulder. He serves a purpose.
And he does it very well.
But because of the character that he has, like, yes, strong character, but god damn, he's bringing something that was needed.
Yeah.
No one else in the whole show had what he had.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's why I was going to say A.
Do you...
No.
No. We gotta keep the dignity of A bracket here. He is at home with B, I think.
Okay.
I remembered the Weird Al fuck's name.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Khonshu?
No. That's
what
from Marvel. Wang Shi Tong.
Wang Shi Tong.
He's the spirit that guards the library with all the...
Well, I know that.
Where he's at.
Yeah.
I just couldn't remember the name. Yeah, that's right.
Wang Shi Tong.
Well, he's not next.
No.
Ursa is.
Yeah, she was mom.
She definitely drives part of the plot.
I would say.
But she's not there.
Well, I would say...
And we get no characterization.
No, but with how important her role was for pushing both someone we have an A and S to what they wanted to do, I would say B.
I don't think any of what Azula did was what she wanted to do.
No, but the
But
fact of her mom is what pushed it.
yes.
I think she can stay in C. I do not. While yes, she is important to their individual stories, I think overall, in the grand scheme of things, she meant little to nothing.
I think my gut response was C, but thinking more on it, I do agree with B because we have this guy right here, also in B.
That's fair. That's fair.
Literally the same, just for different characters. That's it.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I also think we see a lot more of Gyatso than we ever see of their mom, even in flashbacks.
Sort of, yeah.
We see more of who he is.
There's more interaction, yes.
Yeah, but we also see more of cabbage salesmen than any of these other characters.
Than a lot of...
So, I mean, we can't...
Than a lot
We can't call in... He shows up almost more than the main five.
I wasn't saying that we should do it by how much screen time she gets. I was just saying, like...
He's just bringing up another character.
Yeah.
He has a lot of characterization in the brief screen time that he gets. In the brief screen time that she gets, there's next to nothing.
I would not... I would argue against that.
Yeah, she's shown to be really caring.
It's a different character.
She's shown to be very caring.
I think it's a different character.
And sad about being married to their dad. and then just disappears.
After what was happened to her son and how he treated, how he treated them.
No, she was gone before what happened at the Agni Kai.
Yes.
Like years.
It's a mystery.
Yeah.
It adds. I think it's a different character, and Ursa is a different character, and they portrayed her in a very accurate way. I think.
Well, yeah,
to what it would be real life. And
I'm not saying it was inaccurate or it was bad. I was just.
You said that she didn't have any character. I'm arguing the opposite.
I said that she had less characterization than I felt like Yatsu had.
Okay. I think B.
Okay.
I think she is on par with Monk Gyatso.
Okay.
Impact, all that.
Now on to Weird Owl Boy.
Oh my god.
When you said Weird Owl, I thought you said Weird
Owl.
Owl.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Weird Al Yankovic, yeah.
I'm like, wait, he was in this show and I didn't know?
I mean, honestly, he might have been. Who fucking knows?
He wasn't.
No, Wan Shi Tong.
Wang Shi.
I remember him as a character, but I don't remember what he did besides screech at them for being in the library. That's all I remember.
In the show, he is one of 3 speaking spirits.
That we see.
One of 4 spirits in the whole show, basically.
Yes, that we really get a chance to interact with.
Yeah. Or I guess it's 4 and 5 because
Yeah.
I forgot about the lion turtle. Technically, but
Yeah.
it's still it's different. I think.
Why is the lion turtle not on this list?
Right. I think he is the most impactful of all the spirits.
Yes.
I think he offers a lot of world building,
A lot of wisdom.
a lot of wisdom that brings up. It adds growth and level
to almost all the characters that interact with him.
Yes, to Katara, to Sokka, and to Aang. And then also, he is core.
To the world.
The impact, he's 1, core to the world, 2, core to the story.
Yes.
Because Sozin's comment.
Yes.
This is the only way that that's how they find it all out.
Yeah.
How Sokka finds it all
Yes.
out.
Yes.
Which I think adds a lot to Sokka's story as well. I think it's breaking the mold. I'm feeling B.
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling B.
Like, he's not quite enough to make him an A.
Make him A.
Yes.
But
If there was,
goddamn.
yeah, it was. I think visually, just
Stunning character.
It was striking.
Yes.
I think it added a lot to the show as a whole.
Absolutely.
As a whole, I think the show would be lacking very much
Wang Shi Tong's library.
if the secret of the Sozin's comment and stuff, and the dates and whatnot, and them finding out that they don't have as much time as they thought. If it was just delivered by John or another character, just a regular human,
Would not be as
impactful.
Yeah,
would
yeah.
not be as enriching to the story.
Yeah.
And I think that deserves B. I would love to see him in A.
I think B is okay.
If he had more going on, I would
if we had
argue
more
A.
with him or like saw him later.
Yeah.
I think if he was shown more than what he had, more screen time.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I barely remember this fucker besides when he was sent to kidnap Toph.
See.
I think that's kind of his
All
thing.
he did? Yeah.
Like, as far as impact to the story,
I mean, the most he did
yeah.
was help Toph learn the metal bit.
Uh,
That is essentially what he did.
got her into the situation where she then
Yeah, he
discovered.
didn't teach her jack
She
Don't attribute that to him.
Yeah.
Help
No.
teach her.
That was tough.
No.
That was tough.
No.
I used the
Shut
wrong word. Ooh, sorry.
But yes, it's because of his and this guy's actions, and the people that hire them.
Her parents.
That Toph.
Yeah, see.
That again, another pair that are backboard developmental characters for another up in the ass.
Yeah.
I think pretty another pair. It's pretty cool seeing these pairs.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yue.
You went.
So, in case you don't remember exactly what the fuck was up with Yue, besides just becoming the moon. Pour one out for Sokka. Rest in peace. My first girlfriend turned into the moon.
Yeah.
That's rough, buddy.
Rip, bro.
That's rough, buddy.
Sad.
So the reason that Yue turned into the moon.
Yes.
The
guy we're gonna be talking about.
In the story, the reason that she was born different and she didn't cry when she was born is because the spirit that is responsible for like maintaining the avatar.
Yes.
And like is what gives the avatar state and like reincarnation and all that. While Aang was frozen in the iceberg, until he either lived or died, could not actually do anything about the cycle. So, as a result of that, there was this limbo. And because the next avatar in the cycle should have been a waterbender, a whole bunch of babies in the water tribe became stillborn.
Yes.
Because they didn't have their own souls. They were supposed to be the next avatar.
Yes.
So for like 100 years, there was like a lot of stillborn babies in both the water tribes. And she would have also been stillborn and probably died at birth had the spirit of the moon not been like, hey, yo, hold on.
No.
Can I borrow that? Basically.
Yo, I need a body. Gib.
I mean, it didn't need a body because it was still in the koi fish at that point.
Well, yeah.
But the spirit of the moon saw the looming threat and was like, "Hey, Rava, can I like scoop this one for a little while?"
Yeah, exactly.
She serves great character development for Sokka. She is more impactful than I think quite a few of the people in B.
Yes.
But not enough to give her A.
No, I think she belongs at the front of B.
I think B, 100%. Yep.
Big B.
Big B.
Big B Sand.
I think she's closer as far as impact with these two.
Oh, absolutely.
Like she's closer in that level of impact to the world.
We already know where you stand on Admiral Zhao.
Admiral Zhao, Commander Zhao.
I thought it was General.
No, it's not General. It's General Iroh.
No, he does get General.
I was about to say, I'm sure he gets
At
General.
the end of book 1, because he has the fleet and is attacking the Northern Water
He's
Tribe.
General.
No, that's when he becomes Admiral Zhao. He had been Commander Zhao before that because he only had one ship. And then when he became Admiral, he got command of the whole fleet.
I swear he was General
No,
at some point.
no, he's not General.
I thought it was Admiral then General.
No, it was Commander to Admiral.
Okay.
If I remember correctly.
But Zhao.
We already know where you sit on this,
Exactly,
Jake. So
yes.
Dakota,
What do you guys think?
what do you feel about Zhao? What's your vibe?
What's
My-
Zhao's vibe?
Yeah, what is
Terrible.
We know what Zhao's vibe is.
Horrible.
My go-to with him is A. Because book 1, he's so pivotal to the story.
He is the driving force
Exactly.
for most of book 1.
He's so pivotal to the story.
He is the antagonist.
Yes.
This one.
And Mizuko.
My go-to's A.
What about you, Mikhail?
I don't know. I'm kind of torn. Because I can definitely understand
The reasons.
the reasoning for both. Like, I understand why there is push to put him in S and why there's push to put him in A. Because he is a really well-written villain.
Oh, yeah.
He has that same kind of motif as Ozai, where it's all about, like, the political power and
Stop power.
just, you know, personal ambition, personal goals, the whole way through. I think, personally, what kind of gives him an edge for me is, like, the fucking astronomical level that he was willing to take it to.
He literally killed a god.
Yeah.
Basically, he essentially went, nah, bitch, fuck you. And
I will bring around a
murdered
new
the
era
moon.
and kills a god.
Yeah.
He does what Duma wanted to do. Simple as that.
And, like, don't get me wrong, that's ultimately what led to his downfall.
Yes.
Is he had the hubris to
do that stuff.
attempt such a thing.
He had no check
He really didn't. Right up until Aang.
All the way to the end.
Right up until Aang and the Moon Spirit that was Yue at that point went, the fuck you did?
No, son, you don't understand.
And then struck him down along with his entire fleet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where?
Ozai didn't kill no fucking god.
Ozai didn't kill any fucking gods. He didn't even.
I'm gonna just say.
Ozai didn't even get. Ozai didn't even get the pop off on Sozin's Comet round 2 like he wanted to.
And
he had been planning on that shit for years.
Yeah. Then a bunch of kids came by and stopped him, just like they stopped Zhao.
No, Zhao accomplished his goal. He killed the fucking moon.
And then he got killed by a bunch of kids.
And then he got clapped.
By one kid. By Aang.
And a god. Yeah. I will say this. I think if Zhao did not die, like I think it's perfect the way that they've written it. Like he has no check, and thus he gets wrecked.
He didn't check himself.
He got wrecked.
So he got wrecked.
Yeah.
But imagine
Zhao living and challenging Ozai for power.
Imagine a scene like that. Imagine some crazy level where Zhao survives from the defeat.
Yeah.
Returns or is imprisoned or some shit. Breaks out of Northern Water Tribe prison. Escapes the North. Goes imagine if they did an entire fucking villain arc for him. Just kind of here and there, where because of his hubris, it's his first real defeat, besides against
and it breaks him.
Iroh and Zuko, and thus it breaks him in such a way that then he is fixated on, like Zuko was, the Avatar, the people that stopped him, right? So imagine if, as later in the story where Zuko is making these big changes and is now changing for the good, he has dipped even further to show another mirroring, kind of like Azula is to Zuko, but in this different way, where he has ultimately, through this, imagine just a few scenes here and there, maybe even just one arc for him, explaining how he, imagine a fucking twist. Imagine a fucking twist. You see Zhao, season fucking 3, after not seeing him the entire season 2, right? And imagine the twist if they wrote him to be further instead of just, I don't have a check.
Yeah.
And thus I get wrecked. I think it would have been so insane for a villain in this show to get to that level. To get to that level. And then proceed to, I imagine a fight between Zhao and Ozai, the episode before the comment, or the episode of the comment where he's hiding away, right? And Zhao shows up.
And he's like,
to be like, I have killed a god. I have survived. I have traveled so much, all in preparation for the Avatar. Hand him over to me. Yeah. I know he's on this island. Give me this God King, Phoenix King, whatever you want to fucking call yourself, Imagine this sick ass scene. And he's just like, no. Obviously, Ozai has the temperament.
Yes.
And the understanding to see that he is gone off the deep end for power. And so it's this different interaction with Ozai, different way that you see Ozai. And he's just no. And then that flips Zhao. And so you see this epic firebender fight before the epic firebender fight and all the shit that happens later.
Yeah.
And I think it would have been so cool to see something written like that.
It would have been huge.
That is my one thing that I've theorized and wanted so bad in this show was Zhao to come back, or just any villain to have a multi-season arc in some way.
Besides the Fire Lord?
Besides Zuko.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right? Because, again, Fire Lord, Ozai, non-existent, all build up, all ominous world. He's this world eater style villain, which, love the flavor. But to put that to the test with a developed villain that you see a shit ton of, and you see the power scale, I think for that enough, he would have had
bigger impact.
Yeah.
If he lived.
If he lived, yeah. But he didn't.
No, he didn't.
And we got what we got, which is a great fucking show.
Exactly. A great fucking show.
So, before we start wrapping it up for the peoples, take a look, take a gander.
Yeah, is there any people we want to switch around or think deserve a different spot that they got?
I don't think so. At least for me, I think everyone's in a good spot where they're at. Considering we took time to explain ourselves and where we put them, and not just like, oh, it's this character, we put them here.
Yeah.
I mean, we did that with a few of them, but like.
Well, yeah, but then all those characters were essentially the same.
Yes.
Yeah.
And had just as much to talk about, so we skipped the extra 30 minutes we would have spent talking about each one.
Exactly.
And just kind of added it all into the same thing.
Yeah. I agree. I'm pretty set with where everyone is at this point. I think we did a fair and justified explanation.
If you guys don't agree with us and think Cabbage Man should be S and the rest of Team Avatar should be like C, leave it in the comments.
Oh yeah. Hash it out with us. We'll fight you.
Yeah.
We'll fight you.
If you enjoyed it, leave a like.
Comment.
That'd be nice.
Subscribe.
Don't forget to follow us on Twitter.
Oh yeah, follow us on Twitter.
If we remember, we'll leave the link in the description.
If not, just search it up.
Hope you all enjoyed.
And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye-bye.